Right, we're now on air.
Good evening.
That was in
stereo. In unison.
So this week we are at home with the Fishers with Chris and Nicola Fisher and our special guest, Andy, AH Bespoke.
How you doing, man?
Hiya.
Great to have you with us on this warm and somewhat clammy Monday evening.
Yeah.
So
this is episode 16. So let me just say hello to everybody who's on the live chat. So hello to everyone who's watching. Hi to T+G Making.
Good evening, guys.
Knotted Pumpkin.
Hi.
Wayne Bigfoot Woodcraft.
Hi, Wayne.
Christine and Michael Hesseltine.
Hello.
Great to have you all with us.
Buongiorno.
So, without further ado,
yes,
let's go to Andy. So it's really great to have you here, and we've just been chatting for the sort of the prequel, haven't we?
just sort of like chewing the fat, as you might say, off air.
So I've found out a few things about Andy. Andy has a fine arts degree. He describes himself as an artist, a maker, and a woodturner. He's having a bit of a new chapter in his life, which we'll have a chat about. But he's going in some new directions, but still maker related. And he is a new dad to Jacob, who's 5 weeks old.
Hey, congratulations. Woo!
That's amazing.
Thank you. I didn't really do anything. That was the wife.
well,
we did kind of, but
well done to the missus anyway. So,
well, you've got some sleepless nights though. So,
yeah, very much so. He's he's a challenge.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's gorgeous.
Yeah,
you can't not love him. So it's all good.
Yeah,
it's all good.
Cool. So let's just see. Steve Twidell.
Hi, Steve.
He says, it's a Mad Viking. Wayne the Woodturner. Hi, Wayne.
Hi, Wayne.
So,
hi, Wayne.
Andy. So let's start with the first question. Why do you make?
I make because it's in my genes. Since I was a kid, I've always made stuff from Lego and bits and pieces like that. So as you get older, Lego turns into wood, and then you get big tools, and then you get even bigger tools, and then wood comes into other things, and then you start picking up other bits and pieces. So I guess art or making has always kind of been there.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I've always done.
This is what I find so interesting about makers, because, and I say this every week, you all say very similar things, and this whole maker thing has been with a lot of you from being very young, and I find that quite fascinating.
Yeah, I think can't speak for anybody else, obviously, but I guess my direction comes from my dad. My dad is a maker, although doesn't do it as much as what he would like, I don't think, but he's always been handy with stuff. So that's something that he's passed on. I've always seen him doing that. So now I'm doing it to my boys.
Yeah.
Luke's already doing the wood turning, and he's way better than I am at wood turning. And as soon as Jacob can hold a hammer, he'll be out on the anvil. So
yeah.
I guess because I had that kind of parentage, that was where I sort of went, and being naturally away with the fairies, the creative thing sort of comes with it. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. So what about the fine art? You said you did a fine art degree.
Yeah.
Do you still use some of that in the work you're doing now? Or have you just gone in a completely different direction?
I'd like to think it has no bearing on what I do, but everything that I've done previously is going to have an obvious effect on what I do now. I didn't do what you would class as standard art. I didn't do painting. I didn't do drawing or anything like that. I did more sort of performance based,
right,
and film and that kind of stuff. So I didn't fly. Sorry, I didn't really sort of do that sort of stuff. That wasn't my thing. Now, obviously, that has helped me doing the YouTube, for example, and Instagram, because I'm a lot more aware of camera than, say, somebody who hasn't. I can do art stuff. A lot of what I did at sixth form and doing my A levels and my foundation course is stuff that a lot of makers do now. Photography.
Yeah.
It's all stuff that I've picked up, and all stuff that's added to the bank of knowledge that I use in whatever I do, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yeah, complete sense.
I noticed you were making a Viking longboat cot.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds really interesting.
Epic fail. Well, I started making a proper. I was making it like Vikings made boats, but as a cot. Now in our previous house, I made it a bit too big, so I couldn't actually get it out of the door. I was so engrossed in making this cot, and yes, it's got to be this certain size for him. I didn't actually consider I actually had to get it up to the bedroom at that point. Then it was suggested to me when I was on Makers International that I should probably consider, well, just before Makers International, I should probably consider like maybe cutting it in half. The second I did that, I lost interest in it, because it was like, oh, I've done all of that work, and the one thing that you're always taught to do, measure twice, cut once. And I just didn't do it. I did the most basic of lessons. I just got so engrossed in doing what I was doing that so anyway, put that to one side, and the wife was getting a little bit, you really need to make this cart. I was like, okay, yeah. So we went for a cot bed instead. So instead of a proper actual boat shape, it's more of a bed shape. It still looks like a long boat. It's got a little sail at the back as well, and little shields on the front. So yeah, but I think the best thing about all of that was that my dad actually said that I had done a brilliant job, and that was.
Oh, that's nice.
When he says that, I know that I actually have done a good job. So that was kind of nice. So pleased with that.
Tell us about the Viking connection then.
It's more of an obsession. I have traced my lineage, as we were saying before, and it's Northern Frank, so the Northmen, 1066 people. But I honestly, I'm not sure if there is. I haven't done the test like you guys have, but I have to say, now you've said it, I'm probably actually going to.
It's not that dear. I think it's about £60 or something like that. It's come down a lot in price as well now. And, you know, it's sort of like you do a swab and, well, you activate it. You have to register and activate it online first. And then Charlie did his swab. Yeah. And then you put it in your vial and you post it off. And then, you know, it takes time for the results to come through. When he rang me and said the results are here, and he said, you know, we're Danish descent. It was like, I knew it, but yes, get in there, you know. But it's super interesting because, you know, we had the overall majority of Danish blood. We've got some Irish because my maternal relatives are from Roscommon in Ireland. So we have on my mum's side, we've got the Irish element, but we had little bits in Switzerland and Italy. It's fascinating. It really is. And so, I hope and many blessings that if you do it, you come back as Scandinavian. But it's still very interesting.
Well, I'll be happy wherever. It'd just be interesting to know where the lineage comes from.
Yeah.
And really, really, if it comes back that you've got this nice little Scandinavian line back, that'd be just like
icing on the cake.
Yeah, you could lock me up and chuck away the key after that, man. That's like I was good. I'm done now. I'm out of here. Once I knew that, where's my sword? I'm off to Valhalla. And that was it. I was like, whoa. So I'd recommend doing it. Yeah,
cool. I'm gonna get on that. I'll get on that.
Yeah,
that's cool. So, obviously, you were at Makers Central this year, as were many of us.
Yes.
What has the maker community given you? What do you get out of being involved in that community?
The best thing that you get out of stupid flies. The best thing that the maker community gives is friendship. Plain and simple. Meeting people like yourselves, Steve, Dave the wood barber, Richard, Brain Fizz, Kat. I mean, even Al, Brett, and the guys from Fallswood Tools are not just people that are famous, if you like, but there's the makers that simply ornate. I speak to him almost daily, and it's nice to get the face, you know, the FaceTime rather than internet's great, and we are so lucky the age that we live in where we can communicate like this, but you kind of miss out on the personal contact when there's such distances between us all. But yeah, I think the friendship is the best thing that I've got out of the maker community, because so many awesome people, like so many awesome people.
Yeah.
When Jacob was born, within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we must have had 8 or 9 parcels, random things for Jacob from makers that, to be fair, a few of them I have met, but some of them I haven't even met. They follow me on Instagram and heard I was having a baby and sent me stuff. It's not about them sending me stuff. That's not. It's the fact that they've thought Andy would like this for his son, and that just Makers Central blew my mind. It was just, it was the most awesome time that I still struggle to put it into words, because it was my first year, so and at the time I was still having dizzy spells, so I was kind of a little bit awkward anyway, because meeting all these people and feeling the way that I was, it was quite bizarre, but fun at the same time, like awesome at the same time.
Yeah.
Meeting people like the owner Faye.
Yeah, she's in the chat. Yeah.
You never see her on camera, but to actually meet her in real life and to get the most massive hug was just brilliant. That, I mean, you can't put a price on that at all.
Yeah.
And thanks to Nick and all, not just Nick, because it takes a whole ton of people to organise something like that. But that was just fantastic, brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
It was an epic event, and it's the friendship. It'd be probably the thing that, apart from you for whatever reason being told that you couldn't make anything ever again, I think the friendship would probably be the most upsetting thing to go without. That sense of community and family and friendship that we've all got, and it's a big community and it's a big place, and of course you'd love to get to meet more people more often, but we've all got busy lives. You more than most at the minute, but it's nice, like you say, you're getting your packages from people that you've never met, and it's like you may never hear from them again, but each time it does happen, it's a really special feeling. So and there's that saying, I think, strangers are just friends you haven't met yet. So there's so many people. I'd love to hang out with everyone all together at the same time. We should have a Maker Island.
Maybe better Love Island.
Oh gosh, Maker Island.
I think what we need to have is another event like Maker Central, but instead of having all the stuff, having like just talking to people and something where you can network. I think that would be really nice.
Sort of like a more chilled, informal hangout.
Yeah.
Where this. Yeah, go on, Andy. Sorry, man.
Joe Whitaker was that had an idea, didn't he, about the Maker Fest?
Yeah.
And a few other people. Obviously, Steve Twidell's doing his one in Ireland.
Yeah.
Maker Meter.
Yeah.
And there's the Yandles Fair as well. September, which would be cool.
Yeah.
So there are still events going on. It's just, I think, because Maker Central is publicised to us so massively, you kind of forget the other sort of smaller ones. And I guess now Joe's floated the idea, other people are going to start coming up with their own ideas, and that can only be a good thing. Like a Glastonbury type festival for makers. I mean, that would be, I'd be there like a shot.
Yeah.
Maybe not the wife or the boys, but I'd be there.
Should we get a mead tent going?
Yeah. Most definitely.
I'm crazy. We can be sat in there with our axes.
Well, we could do axe throwing, Chris. I'm up for axe throwing if you are.
Blind axe throwing, whilst absolutely clattered on mead. Now, that's worth
That would be awesome.
Well, you nearly had a go, didn't you, at axe throwing? We went to Woodfest in North Wales a couple of weekends ago, and they had axe throwing there. But it's one of those, the day runs away with you. We were talking to people, and by the time we were sort of ready to move on, it was all closing anyway. So, but I think we need to organise some blind axe throwing.
Yeah.
But anyway.
That would be legendary.
Yeah. To go back to Maker Central, you mentioned that you'd been struggling with dizziness. And that's led you to have a change of direction and a bit of a new chapter in your life.
Yeah, so basically, couple of I think it was about February sort of time, the dizziness started. It's about 3 months, 3.5 months or so that I was suffering with dizziness on a regular basis. It kind of destroyed my work life. I couldn't go to work. Obviously, the company needed to replace me. I was told at the time that this was something that I would have to live with potentially for the rest of my life. And obviously, with that in mind, the company and I parted ways. Turns out, after the tests were actually done, that I just had quite a serious labyrinthitis, they call it. So ultimately, not that serious, never going to happen again, most likely. But threw a massive spanner in the works, as in for my work. As it happens, I was quite fortunate that, well, I say fortunate, it's never fortunate, but I acquired some inheritance. And that's kind of helped me in my new direction. Unfortunately, my aunt passed away, and as a monument, tribute, whatever you'd like to call it, I guess, I knew she would want me to do some sort of something to better myself. So I signed up to do a welding course, which is the complete learn to do weld. Never held a welder in my life before, so all my eggs in one basket, as I said. So yeah, that's where I'm off to as we speak. It's an online course, so for the majority. So I'm doing the online learning part now, and then the practical side, I have to go to Watford and do the practical there. So
it's great.
Yeah, it's the step forward that I needed to make for the family, and as I said to you before, it's as a woodworker, I do the wood turning, I do woodwork. I can make wood structures. There would be no point in me learning to do to be a chippy, for example. So I was getting into blacksmithing. Welding seemed like the most logical way forward. And what it can add to my making is a whole new thing. So I've gone from being able to burn my work to being actively advised to burn my work. So bonus, we like fire.
He's a Viking.
Fire good.
Well, it's good for so many things. So yeah, no, that's where I'm going at the moment. Sorry about the flies.
So what sort of things do you think you want to do when you sort of acquired some of these new skills? Have you got any thoughts about the type of projects you're going to work on?
Style. What style?
Oh, it's going to be the Viking style's going to stay.
Yeah.
It's just going to be. Well, I was thinking kind of keep the Viking thing, but make it more metal. So like, I guess perhaps I'd make a small welded longboat or something, I guess, would be my first starting point. I'd like to forge swords and things like that. But welding, well, where can you go with that? I could pretty much do whatever I could come up with in my head. If I've got the metal, that's it. That'll be made.
And it would be great to have the story of you going on this new journey as well. It's a great story to share on YouTube and Instagram, and I think it's going to be fascinating.
I kind of like that side of Instagram, certainly. I don't use YouTube as much as what I probably should or could. I prefer Instagram in the sense that I don't necessarily have to have the hours and hours of editing.
Yeah.
Because when you're doing things like, I made an anvil out of rail track, and the amount of grinding, no one wants to sit there and watch you grind for the majority of the project. They want to see nice quick cuts and stuff like that. Well, when you're grinding something like that, you don't want to stop. Because if you stop, you lose your flow, you make a mess, the cut's not straight or something like that. So it's just Instagram is a little bit more instant.
Yeah.
So when I do my course, I will be doing my course going like this with my Instagram. This is what I'm doing today, guys. Oh, look, I've messed it up again. But that kind of thing.
Yeah. That'll be really cool.
Yeah.
So at the moment, what sort of things do you love to make?
Viking shit.
Yeah, props. I like making props at the moment. So wooden swords. I've made a load of wooden swords. I've started playing around with HDPE, melting plastic and making various things. I don't know if you've seen my anvil that I made the other day. No, it's hold on.
You get it. Is this your workshop, by the way?
Yes, this is my workshop.
Well, Andy, could I trouble you for your finest audio description now, please, for the blind?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was going to do. Good. So this is probably based on about 20, maybe a £13 anvil, so not a massive anvil. So maybe 25 centimeters in length. It has a horn on it.
Yeah, got that.
Which is green, black, and white HDPE.
Funky.
And it goes into a blue, black, and white solid block, which is about the same sort of size as half a brick.
Yep.
It's got a small base onto it, and then it's got like the hammering surface, which is about the size of an envelope and about 2.5 centimeters thick.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Size for pummeling stuff.
Yeah.
You get some work done on that.
So, can you use that?
Well, yes, I can. I was going to use it for copper, molding copper, and very thin sheet metals.
Yeah.
Because it's very forgiving. Although it's hard, it obviously still dense when you whack it with something sharp. So, but the advantage of this, you just heat it up and you can flatten it off again. It's brilliant stuff.
Great idea.
And I've made a load of hammers as well. So like round hammers and essentially blacksmith's hammers, but out of plastic. So yeah, I'm enjoying the HDPE bits and pieces at the moment.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah. So
it's so easy.
How do you make it? Because I know I've got that pen, haven't I?
Well, what it is, you get the plastic milk cartons, and now it's the symbol is it'll have sort of like the recycling triangle, and it'll have the number in.
Yeah.
I forget what number it is now that designates HDPE, but basically the plastic milk cartons with the tops you get plastic. Snip as many as you can up into small pieces. Soften them up in your oven, conventional oven,
right?
And then you can shape them, or you push them into a mold and let the mold shape them. And when it cools, I've not done it myself, but that's right, Andy, isn't it? Just roughly.
100% right, Chris. 100%.
So that's sort of like HDPE molding in your own workshop or kitchen.
Yeah, the wife didn't like me doing it in the kitchen, so I've got my own oven in the workshop.
Oh right, yeah. Well, these little sort of like microwave-sized ovens are perfect for the workshop, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's less than 20 quid at Argos, and
Christmas is coming.
Yeah, 17.99.
Nicola, can I blind
I'll send you the product code. It's brilliant for what I do. It was a no-brainer. Plus, we had so many baby bottles. It was you pay £4 for it's £5 for 4 bottles. Well, Jacob was going for it until we changed to powder. He was going through 8 bottles in the space of 2 days.
Yeah.
I'm not getting anything back from this other than a baby screaming at me. Thanks. So I wanted to get at least something back from the 4 bottles. So they went straight into the oven.
That's great.
It is.
Yeah. So you
mentioned. Give it a go. Dun, dun, dun. With supervision.
Now look what you started.
Yeah, and the blind HDP.
Give it a go, man. Give it a go. It's hot, so that would be the only thing that I would say. It is really hot.
Yeah.
Just watch.
I'd wear some gloves.
Yeah, you can wear your gauntlets, can't you?
Your welding gauntlets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I wear. I bought a special pair for them for doing HDPE because I get so much plastic all over and wrecks my welding gloves. So
right. That's
I got a separate pair.
Yeah.
Yeah, get a cheap. A second pair. Yeah.
Yeah, Steve Twidell says the amount of plastic in the world is scary. Good to make stuff from it rather than feed dolphins with it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Good point.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You'd be surprised how much isn't and how much can't be recycled. It's disgusting. It really is disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's it. All these carrier bags, they can't be recycled, can they? Just normal carrier bags, really. It's just keeping stuff out of landfill and the oceans and making anvils out of it and props. Just people that use it for pen making. It's just genius. Yeah. It really is. Yes. Again, blessings to the maker community for coming up with all of this stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, Andy, tell us something that the maker community doesn't know about you.
See, I've been thinking about this one. This was the only question I was like, See, I'm quite open. I like to think I'm quite open about stuff. So I don't tend to have stuff that you guys don't know. If I think it's funny, I'll tell you, even if it's at my cost. I'm trying to think of something. The only thing I could think of was that I was brought up in an old people's home. But my parents were wardens at an old people's home. So for the first 7-8 years of my life, I was brought up with the old, infirm, and a few people with disabilities.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go.
Well, no, that's not that before. That is a first.
Yeah, yeah. It must have been quite interesting as a young boy, though. There must have been some characters.
That's where the Lego thing came from, you see, because the older people used to give every birthday. I would end up with.
I thought you were going to say making hips and knees.
Well, funnily enough, but the older people, they were interested in, yes, but it was, I think, one of the chaps that was there, Kelvin, he really challenged my perception on what is possible. I forget what it's called, and bear with me, I don't want to be offensive, but he didn't have he only had like hands on his shoulders and feet on his hip. Thank you. And he used to drive.
Yeah.
He had, his car was completely converted and all that kind of stuff, and it was just, it blew my mind then, the possibilities of what is possible. Even more so when I caught him bench pressing in his bedroom, which just was insane. But then obviously, that's that.
Yeah.
That's probably what, I don't think I've said that to anybody before.
That's
so that's something new.
We get all the good stuff, don't we?
That is just brilliant. I mean, yeah, for lots of different reasons, that to grow up in, you know, an old people's home, you know, times of great joy, times of sadness, there'd be times of curiosity. I think, you know, it will have given you a great appreciation for people and the spirit of people, and also an appreciation for old people that are so often cast aside and forgotten about when they get, you know, to that old dithering, and it's wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong.
Yeah.
There's one thing that gives me great joy, and that is making people smile, making people laugh.
Yeah.
I do that in a day, and I've been struggling to do it recently because of baby and tiredness and all that kind of stuff. But if I can do that in a day, I've done a good day's job, and regardless of whether I've taken money home or not, that's a good day's work. I've done a good day's work.
Yeah. You mentioned as well that you've got a connection with HMS Victory, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, one of my ancestors was the shipwright for HMS Victory, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't find this information out. This was my older of my two sisters. She went to Portsmouth to HMS Victory. She took the picture standing in front going it came, I can't remember the first name, but Heel, and said shipwright next to it. So served with Nelson himself. So
wow.
all right.
That's
don't get any bigger than that in naval history, does it?
That's amazing.
Whoa.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, wow.
So have you got anything else you'd like to ask?
So when you get your qualification in welding and fabrication and all that sort of stuff, I would just like to just not ask you a question, but just please, I'm going to plead with you. Please do plenty of Viking / medieval stuff, and let me feel as much of it as I can. We'll have to arrange that out. So it's not a question, it's a request. When you get to doing your wood and metal creations, and you're going to still do a lot of your Viking stuff, can I please come and have a go?
More than welcome,
Thank
sir.
you very much. Thank you. No, I've not got any question. Thoroughly. Yeah, brilliant guest again. Well, yeah, I mean, flipping heck.
Well, we've got one question from SK Crafts. When was the last time you shaved?
It's before I met my wife, so 6 years ago now. But it's been different. It's not been continuous growth. I have trimmed it, but yeah, probably about 6 years that I've had a beard now.
Yeah.
She told me she'd divorce me if I ever cut it off, so it's staying. She's a keeper, so it's staying.
I prefer Chris with a beard. I mean, obviously he's just trimmed it today, but
Yeah.
that's about as short as you go now.
I've just trimmed it down to number 1 today. I've cut my hair today, and I've just trimmed my beard down, but I won't cut it again now for a few months. So yeah, I like facial hair.
Yeah.
But most of the Danes were very vain. So keep your beard in good order. The veins, contrary to popular belief.
I think you break.
Yeah, the Danes. Well, talking about Vikings. Contrary to popular belief, the Danes were very vain.
The veins.
The Danes were very vain. I said it right. The Danes were very vain. Oh,
they were very clean people as well.
Yes, yes. So beards are plenty, but well groomed.
Right.
Well, I'm not so well groomed, but I'm certainly bearded. And to be fair, I did straighten it before I came on. So
well, there you go. We'll take that.
We can tell. Yeah, we can tell.
Yeah, I can. But I think good for it.
Straight lines. We
straight lines. And have you got any plaits in it or beads? Have you ever done that?
Oh no. That would be like putting horns on my helmet. That was only they didn't do that.
No. It's the horns. It's a Victorian myth.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Steve Twidell says, "Will there be a Clockwork Orange version of this interview later?" Which I think means something to you, I believe.
I did a series on YouTube, which was because I was being dizzy. I was told to do these exercises, so I didn't do the exercises he suggested. I did my own, and basically involved me singing along and all this kind of stuff to various music tracks and being the drummer. Obviously, you can't put on standard speed tracks, so I sped up all the tracks. So if you listen to them, it sounds like the Chipmunks singing, with me randomly throwing in the occasional line or something like that. I found it quite funny, and quite a few other people found it quite funny. But it got to the point where I was doing maybe 3 or 4 a day, and I thought perhaps I should stop. It was like having too much coffee in a day. I was getting a bit like, well, I could do this. And yeah, I needed to stop. So I probably will pick it up again at some point.
Yeah.
Because I did enjoy doing it. But you should check it out. It's funny.
I will do. Steve says, would Andy recommend folk to consider changing their career from his past experience?
Honestly, it's quite daunting. Because I am literally putting all my eggs into one basket. The money that I have got isn't going to last forever. In fact, it's not going to last till Christmas. So I need to be getting on with it as soon as possible. It's a needs must situation. Fortunately, the way the course works, when I qualify the first module, I'll be qualified in oxyacetylene, so I can go and get a job doing skip making or something like that. And then as I do the next module, the module after that, then I can progress into harder types of welding or different types of welding. And then obviously the job will get better as I get more qualified. I haven't got anywhere to go as yet, as in company to work for. So I really am putting all my eggs into one basket.
Yeah.
But I am so
focus.
what's the word? Yeah, and pig-headed would be probably the way my mum would describe it. I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing, and I will do it.
Yeah.
That's my biggest character flaw, to be fair. But that's just, I need to be focused. I need to do this, not just for me personally, but for my family, because assuming I can get a job doing welding afterwards, it's going to make my home life so much better.
Yeah.
The wages that I can command being a qualified welder is more than what I could dream of at the moment.
Yeah.
Being an artist, people don't pay you to be an artist unless you're a tape displaying in the Tate or a Turner Prize winner or something like that. I'm never going to win the Turner Prize. Well, I might do, but it's unlikely because I don't do mainstream stuff. I'm not that kind of person.
But it sounds like you've got, I know it's a brand new chapter and lots of unknowns, but it sounds like you've got the right attributes to make it work. And
well, we shall see.
Skills, you know, the general skills as well, and the creativity.
Yeah.
I think the learning, going back to school, learning again at nearly 40, that's the challenge.
Yeah.
If I'm honest, I was never a good student. I went to university to get away from my parents. And the fact I was doing an art course was just because that was the only thing I was any good at school. And I had to go to university. So I was told anyway. So getting to do this now, much better.
Yeah.
An actual direction, an actual trade, profession, something that's worth the paper that I'm paying for.
Yeah. Well, Steve Twidell says it's hard to do when you have family responsibilities. Well done, Andy. Proud of you, mate. Community is always here to support you through it. So, yeah.
Appreciate it, Steve.
Sure, you'll get loads of support from the maker community as well.
Yeah.
They already are.
Yeah.
They're brilliant.
Yeah. So just tell us where we can find you online, well, where everyone can find you.
Just right here. AH Bespoke on Instagram and the YouTubes.
Okay.
All the same, even on Facebook as well.
Yeah.
I don't do Twitter or anything like that, or the other bits and bobs. I'm not interested in those.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
But you're busy on Instagram.
Instagram will be where you find me 9 times out of 10.
Cool.
YouTube, little bell, then you'll know when I upload.
Yeah, so everybody, if you're not already subscribed to Andy on YouTube, please go and find AH Bespoke and subscribe
and click the bell so you get notified.
Yeah, so you'll be able to see all his new stuff as it comes, and follow him on Instagram as well. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on our podcast today. We've loved chatting with you.
Yeah, most awesome.
Yeah, and finding out a lot about you. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah, cheers.
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, and best of luck with the course, and send our love and best wishes to the wife and your 2 sons, and keep on turning and stay Viking.
We'll look out for all the stuff you'll be doing as you
Brilliant.
Course.
Yes, we'll be following you with interest.
Yeah, definitely. So you're very welcome to stay with us. We're going to just chat about our week and whatnot now, but if you like to hang around and just
sure, I'll hang around.
All right,
cool,
lovely. Thank you
very
much,
Andy.
That's cool. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
So,
Well,
here we are.
Here we are again. Well, that was yeah, very interesting.
It was very interesting.
Very interesting, and it's just really nice to hear another person's take on the maker life and the way it can take your life, and it's not always easy, as we know.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I mean,
like a lot of people keep telling us, it's something within them that drives them to be a maker. That's the thing that I keep hearing every week when we do this. You say to people, why do you make? Well, I've got to. It's a compulsion. I've been doing it all my life. I've been doing it as a child. And it's sort of,
it's who they are.
Yeah,
it really is who they are.
I find that really interesting that we're getting similar answers to that question.
Yeah.
So, Christopher.
Yes, Aoife.
What have you been doing this week?
Well, I've been doing a lot of tinkering and making in the workshop. I've been doing odds and sods, really.
We've made a couple. You made a tiny little bud vase.
I made a couple of little bud vases.
And a taller one.
Yeah, I made a little bud pot almost, and then a more traditional bud vase shape. I've done a couple of pens, made a honey dipper today. The reason is I'm speaking at a sort of like, is it a women's club?
Yeah,
sort of women's group.
Yeah.
On the 7th of August.
Yeah.
So I'm public speaking, really, to cut it short.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm public speaking. I'm their guest speaker, and they've said, "Oh, bring some little bits," because you know.
They might like to buy
something. So I'm thinking, you know, nice little cute things for the ladies, you know, some pens, and I'll take a couple of bowls as well and things, but you know, just nice cute little things for the ladies after I've done my speech. So yeah, I've been doing that. Well, Matthew was here
on Wednesday,
so we did a video. So that'll be up live this Friday.
Yes. But what else did you do on Wednesday?
Oh, right. Yes, I remember now. Oh, yes. Henshaws Society for the Blind were here, and they do a video series called The Knowledge Village. So it's all about how it's information for the blind and visually impaired community. So after me judging the nominations for the awards and then speaking at the award ceremony, they asked if I wanted to do a segment for the Knowledge Village, and it was really to do with my use of technology in my everyday life, but really in the workshop. So how I use the pen friend, talking tape measure, talking spirit level and things like that, you know, being a maker, and you know how it makes life easy for me. So they were here. So there was Debbie, who's the head of marketing for Henshaws. Now Henshaws has been going for 180 years. Very, very old charity, set up by a very wealthy businessman from Oldham, and he gave them, I think back in the day, it's, you know, probably £40,000 to set up the Asylum for the Indignant Blind, I believe it was called, something like that. Anyway, don't quote me, but I'm roughly right there. And Henshaws has been around since then, 180 years. It was a great laugh. So there was Debbie, who's head of marketing. There was Ed, who was the cameraman, and then there was Mark, who was the interviewer / presenter. So they were asking me, you know, how I got started and why I do it and the tech that's involved. So Matthew was here. So Matthew did a bit of filming me.
But good.
But it was nice because obviously Matthew's an undergraduate. He's about to, he'll start his 3rd year in autumn. So it was nice for Matthew to see, you know, people that make the living doing this. That's what he's studying to do. So that was cool. And then, in the afternoon when Henshaws had left, they were here all morning. And after they'd left, we filmed our next YouTube video. So yeah, it was a great day, and they might be asking. They're doing a thing called Talking Heads.
Oh, right.
And the first thing I thought of was Alan Bennett, you know, Talking Heads, but it's not, you know, not. And I thought of that before the David Byrne pop band Talking Heads.
Oh, right.
So it was. It's another sort of like videoed series, but they're gonna be asking me more sort of like specific questions. It's, you know. So they'll probably get back in touch with me about that. So there could be something else for Henshaws. But they're a great group of people, and it's fun hanging out with them from time to time.
And the Matthews, we just got Matthew for this week, haven't we? And then he goes back to Hong Kong. Yeah,
Matthew is from Kowloon. So he's back to Hong Kong. He said he's not going to leave his house while they live in an apartment because real estate is at a premium there, both financially and for space. So he's got his mum and dad who both work, and he's got a younger brother, Terry. So he's going back home till probably September, end of September.
Yeah.
And then he's going back to Lancaster Uni. So yeah. He'll be missed because he's made a real difference.
Yeah, so in the interim, guess he'll be filming the videos.
Be afraid.
Yeah, be very afraid.
Yeah, Nicola is going to step into the Matthew's shoes. And I think we should be able to do all right.
Yeah,
and Matthew, because he'll just be staying in the apartment back in Kowloon with the aircon on. He said, even though I'm off for the summer, he said, film the videos and send them to me and he'll edit them and send them back. So he said he still wants to keep on working for us, even during summer vacation.
Well, just having him do the editing will be a big help.
Yeah.
That's the bit that seems to take me forever.
Mm-hmm.
So we can film it. It'll just be easier than Chris doing it. Because at least a
sighted person, you'll have a better idea of camera
angles. You'll be able to actually see what's going on. So yeah, we're still going to do filming on a Wednesday.
But you can position the camera and hit record and all that sort of stuff.
Steve Twidell says, tell Chris that I am in the middle of a conversation with Barbara Dill right now. She's one of my heroes in the turning world.
All right, yeah.
Ooh, that's cool. Right, well, the next thing is we've had some stickers recently. We've not mentioned these. So we've had 2 of these. So I think you've already put one of these up in the workshop. So this was from Dead Rise, Emmett. And we've got some really great stickers from Wayne Bigfoot Woodcraft. I like these. And they are little feet, so Chris could feel them and work out what they were. And Wayne was kind enough to make me a pink pen. So that was a nice surprise turning up.
Nice.
It was last week. It was late last week.
Steady on, boy.
So yeah, thank you very much for that. That was really good of you. So we've been doing a bit of planning, haven't we? Because we
had a meeting on Sunday.
Yes, we have meetings.
We have meetings. So it was a sit down. It was like we're having a meeting. So it was sat around the dining table, and Nicola's got about 800 notebooks out. You can hear one book getting closed for one topic, and something being opened and scribbled for another. So you have a book for for every single occasion you could think of.
It's not quite like that.
Well, it is. It sounds insane when you. What was that? Who was that?
I don't know. It's a notification for some reason.
Notification. So yeah.
Anyway, we're doing some planning for a few things we want to do. So every now and again we have to sit down and just
fresh
put our heads together, don't we?
Yeah, it's a brainstorming session. Really, it was It was that really brainstorming session. So that lasted, what, wasn't that long, was it?
No.
About 3/4 of an hour or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you did take notes, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, we've had that a brainstorming session, and I've because Nicola does the Instagram and all that sort of stuff. I can handle the Twitter, so I've been tweeting a lot.
Yes.
Because it's easy for me to do, because of the way my phone's set up. I can just launch the Twitter app. I dictate my message, hit the open the camera button, take the picture, and because it's set up for the blind, it says add a description for the visually impaired, which I do, and then it says tweet. So I smack the tweet button thing, and then it goes literally takes me, even me, a minute to tweet something. Now I'm getting really good at it, and I understand now retweeting and putting an at. So yeah, I'm tweeting a lot, and I find it quite liberating. So at least again, it's people that are following me on Twitter. I know you're doing the Instagram, and you and Matthew do the whole YouTube thing, and the other platforms of social media. I'm handling the Twitter all on my own. Pretty cool. So
well, I think it works better because I try and make it sound like you, but obviously, I'm guessing you've all worked out that when I post stuff on Chris's Blind Woodturner Instagram account, it's me doing it, not Chris. And I do all the Facebook. Some Twitter will be me because I just have it set to go from Instagram to Twitter.
What's it called?
If this and that.
So you can post once and it's automatically.
Because I haven't got time to be posting separately. So I try and keep it as simple as possible. But sometimes, Chris doing it on his own and saying it how he would say it,
it's a bit edgier,
different to how I would say it.
I would say, it's Chris saying it as Chris. It's great, and you doing it as a third person and trying to phrase it as me, it's fine. But it's like, I did that honey dipper today, so I took a photograph, and it says, but it's as it pops into my head, I will tweet that. And it was like, I've not made one of these for a long time, so I thought, what the hell? So that's what I tweeted. That that sentence or two. So yeah, I mean,
see, I'd have said it differently.
Exactly.
I'd have said, look what we've made today.
Yeah. Whereas I said, what the hell?
Yeah.
So that's when I tweet, it's from me. But you've been, you do a great job. I wouldn't ever say don't tweet for me again. I've got it now. But that's Twitter. Sort of like sorted for me. Can we discuss? You know who? So
well, I think last week somebody said, "Who would you like to have on the podcast?" And who was it we said?
Pipe down over there, you.
Well, first of all, we said we really wanted AH Bespoke to join us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're top of the list.
I told you were top of the list, and you were
top of the list. So obviously, Nicola knows who's my sort of like main target to get on the podcast. So you've been in.
I sent a little email last week, towards the end of last week,
and we've had a reply.
And
he's said yes.
The man from Del Monte, he said
yes. Yes, he said yes. And he said, but not tomorrow, I'm busy. So the date is to be confirmed, but he said yes, he'd love to take part. Any guesses?
Yeah. Steve Fidel said DeResta.
Yeah. So Jimmy DeResta's going to be a guest very soon on the podcast.
Yeah. So I've sent him some dates. So hopefully it'll be either August or September. But yeah, that was nice.
So that should be as with all of them, another epic guest segment. So what else has happened?
I don't know.
You've been and done some photography today.
Yeah, I've been out today. I'm sort of beavering away on my little projects at the minute. And like Chris's stuff, I've got, a plan of what I'm doing. So I needed to get some photography for my website. So I've been out today and sort of stocked up on my stock images, if you like, to put on my my website. So yeah, I've done that. I need to do a bit more photography, really. I need to go to a few different places and just stock up a bit.
Well, apparently it's going to be, the weather has been, it's been warm but windy today.
Yeah.
And it seemed to get slowly warmer as the day progressed, and it feels like a lovely warm evening. And Andy was saying it's been warm and whatnot down in Bournemouth, but you're going to be a few degrees up on us anyway, being
down south.
Yeah, down there practically the south of France in Bournemouth, isn't it?
Yeah.
As far as us Manx are concerned, you're practically on the Riviera there, mate. So,
well, don't they call it the Riviera?
Well,
is it the
Torquay?
Oh, is it Torquay?
That way, yeah, it's the English Riviera.
Right,
yeah, because John Cleese says it in Fawlty Towers. So, yeah, herds of wildebeest. When it's got that room. What do you expect to see out of the window of the hotel? It's hordes of wildebeest walking majestically across. So,
SK Craft says Jimmy Legend. The Blue Light Turner creating shavings since 2016 says, that will be a great Maker Monday. Steve says best to hire a decent audience then. Yeah, where are we going to get one of those from?
Yeah.
Scott says hope that Twidell bloke doesn't nick the audience.
Well, for the quality audience that we need, I think we need to stick with our regulars.
Absolutely.
Yeah. See how much we think about it. So yeah, that's awesome. So what else have we got coming up next week?
Well, next Monday, our Maker Monday guest will be Richard Morley, who will be joining us.
He'll be fizzing away.
Yeah, brain fizz.
The giant of a man that he is. Every time I hear his voice, I'm trying to work out how tall he is. He did tell me it's about 6'5" or 6'6" or something.
Yeah,
huge.
He's tall. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny because I sort of like having a guess at how tall someone is or how short someone is when I hear the voice and where it's coming from. And I think from an audible standpoint, that's the highest up I've heard a voice yet. Him and Phil Irons are pretty close.
Yeah, I think he chatted to Phil at Makers Central. I
Pair of bookends.
Yeah, I'm not sure who was tallest. I think they were trying to work that one out.
Yeah, but
there's not much in it, I don't think.
Yeah.
So, anybody got any more for any more? Anything else? Steve says Richard Morley's tall, but when he turns sideways, he disappears. Yeah. So is that it?
That's pretty much it, really. Yeah. So I'm just chipping away. I'll be in the workshop again.
We've got a relatively quiet week, I think, this week. You've got filming on Wednesday.
We've got to pop out on Thursday.
Yeah. And I'm seeing a friend on Friday afternoon. But
Charlie's coming Wednesday night. Yeah. He's got a few days off work.
Yeah.
So he was studying all day Sunday, doing his radio telephony course for his pilot's license. So he's got an exam. Well, he's got to work Saturday, and then he's got his theory for his radio telephony. So it's all about Charlie Tango Tea Kettle Barbecue. All that, how pilots talk the way they talk. So he's got his first exam coming on Sunday. So yeah, Charlie there for a few days. Well, 3 nights, and then we'll take him home. He wants to go home Friday night now because he's working Saturday.
Oh, right.
They've asked him to work. So that's cool. Yeah. So I'm busy. I'm in the workshop for quite a few hours every day, tinkering, faffing, doing little things. So yeah, it's keeping the old grey matter lubricated. So apart from that, I've not really got any.
Okay, well, I'm just going to say, if anybody would like to join us on the podcast, it's an open invitation. As we've said so many times before, it's for makers of any description, any length of time. As you can see, we just talk about all sorts of different things. Scott's saying that he'd be up to be a guest.
Right.
So, Scott said, what software do you need? You don't need any software. It's all filmed through Google Hangouts. So I'll send a link. And Andy, how did it work for you? Just clicking
I had just had to reinstall Google Hangout, and then that was it. It was it linked with my account, and then Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, yeah. So it's relatively simple. You don't need anything in particular.
No. So yeah, if Scott is having any trouble, just email you.
Yeah,
and you'll work together. But yeah, Scott, that's awesome. Thank you very much. We shall.
We've always got half an hour to play with anyway, so
you speak to him before.
Yeah, anyway. we'll sort it out. Dan and Sharon say hi and great show. Thank you.
Hi guys, hope the turning's going all right. Dan and Sharon were at Newcastle, at Axminster, North Shields.
Yeah.
They've just purchased a lathe. Husband and wife were both having the tuition, the three-hour free tuition you get with a lathe from Axminster. Lovely couple, and they were there for the demonstration. And the first piece that I turned, I gave to them, didn't I?
Yeah.
So it has gone to a great home. And Dan's a carpenter anyway, so he's in love with wood. So yeah, and both they'd had a great lesson, hung around for the demo. Lovely couple. So yeah, thanks Dan and Sharon. Hope it's going all amazingly well for you.
Yeah. So I think that's it. I think we've pretty much finished. So I'd like to thank Andy very much for being with us and for a great Maker Monday conversation. It was a lot of fun having you on. So thank you so much for joining us.
It was indeed, sir. And yeah, like I said before, best of luck with the course, and hope you start getting some hours of sleep.
Yeah, that would be nice. Sleep is good. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. It's been a blast. I loved it. Great fun.
Thank you very much. A pleasure.
And yes, we'll get you back on in the future, man.
Yeah, you could come and tell us how you're getting on. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'm up for that.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
Yeah, we can have you back on
again.
We'll
do an update.
Yeah, we'll do an update.
Cool.
Update.
Yeah.
All right, folks. So we's out of here now. We're gonna go and just chill for an hour, probably, before we go to Betty Bowles. And keep on turning, everybody. Thanks for all your support. It's great.
Thank you very much, and thank you for joining us and chatting.
Yeah, thanks for helping make the podcast what it is, and making it so much fun for us all.
Yeah.
And the feedback has been really good. So some great guests to come.
Yeah.
And all of our guests today have been amazing. And thank you all of our previous guests.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
We'll see you next Monday.
Bye.
Bye.